Okay, so on my turn, I go for it, and I really needed something high to get this Razor Gore in, but I ended up getting it. I also charged in with the Chariot, but he failed. Regardless, I'm just happy that I'm not staring down the throat of, you know, what is it, 10? Yeah, 10 Strength 5 attacks from Dragon Princess, so it's a good deal over there. My Gore block finally gets into combat with the Spear Elves, and in case I get to mention it, I get a wild form off on them in the magic phase. Yeah, you can see the eagle in the background there, and kind of blurry. We had to move the tree from the woods. Yeah, so I just took all my wizards, and I'm just kind of sneaking them around my Centaur unit so that he can't really fit his eagles in there. But as you can see, I kind of failed with that with the wizard on the right. So he can still definitely be charged by the eagle. And then the best Gores with the level 4 charge into the Swordmasters. And you see the card here on the right with the dice with the 5 on it. That I dropped 2 of the big miasmas on the Swordmaster unit and got them both through. And I dropped one dropped their stats by 3 and the other by 2. So their weapons go 1, initiative 1 Swordmasters. So definitely not afraid of how that combat's going to go. And as you can see here, the Bestigors, yeah, easily defeated the Swordmasters and overran into the White Lions. Now, actually, looking at this picture, anybody who really knows the rules is just, their eyes are hurting looking at this picture. Because actually, what I found out later is that once a unit, you know, if it overruns or pursues into an enemy unit, it has to declare a charge on that unit. Using, you know, its 90-degree wheel and closing the door and all that to maximize contact. So what should have happened is once we found out that I was going to overrun into the White Lions, basically we just treated it as declaring a charge on them. So, yeah, that's how we played it for this game. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to take care of that. Definitely going to remember that in the future. That's a good rule to know. Over here in close combat, the Razor Gore kills 2 of the Dragon Princes, and they do a wound to it, and that combat's a push. Yeah, over here, the Ungors, the Chariot only did 2 wounds to the Ungors, and the Ungors, yeah, they did 2 wounds back, and then with all their static res, ended up breaking the Chariot and running it down. And they actually rolled high enough to make it into contact with his general, I think. But they're clipping the corner of that Gore unit, so they just stop right there. And then you can see the Gores. I got a wild form off on them, and they're facing off against his 50 Spear Elves. So I'm pretty excited about how that's going to go. And then here's the aftermath of that fight. Yeah, as you can see here, it looks like he's missing 28 Spear Elves. So, yeah, my general and, yeah, my characters and that unit just went to town. They murderized those elves. So, yeah, it was definitely a cold shower for my opponent. And then you have the High Elf General here. He just watched his troops just get butchered, but it didn't faze him, so he passed his panic check. Here's just a quick overview of this side of the board. Yeah, you got my Chariot and the Razor Gore, the Dragon Princes, and, yeah. Yeah, like I said, that the best Gores overrunning into the White Lions, they should be maximized just as if I had charged. So definitely gonna fix that in later games. All right, so here's you got his Dragon Princess just moving around, making me nervous, getting close to my wizards. All right, so in his turn, he declares a charge with the Dragon Princes and rolls terribly. And fails it. So pretty happy with that because I really don't want his Dragon Princes. I mean, they'll eat those Centaurs alive, and then they'll just obviously start picking off my wizards, and that's definitely not something I want to happen. His eagle does get into the wizard that I wasn't quite able to get behind the Centaurs. He rallies the Spear Elves, and then over here, yeah, I think he ends up getting Fleshed Stone off on the White Lions with Thrones, so I think they're like toughness 7 now. So, Now, what actually happens is in this combat, I think I had a wild form on the Bestigor unit, and so the base strength 4 with the wild form with their great weapons brings them up to strength 7. So, but I still didn't manage to do anything. Yeah, but I did manage to win the combat because Bestigors, they get one additional combat res for every banner they capture earlier, and I had 2 from his battle standard and his swordmaster standard. So that turned out to be pretty good because I could reform without having to test for it. And this is what I do. I just reform into Horde and bring everybody that I can into base contact so I can really go to town on those White Lions. And this is an overview of how things are looking. Okay, so in the previous combat phase, his Dragon Princes, they end up breaking the Razorgore and running him down. And he wanted, to roll high enough on his pursuit roll to, get out of the charge arc of my chariot. But as you can see here, I could definitely see that unit, and so I declare a charge on them in my next turn. I also charge the Spear Elves again. Okay, here's the Bestigor combat. Okay, so in my magic phase, yep, get a wild form off on the Bestigors. And yeah, so he's got toughness 7 and I've got strength 7. So yeah, normally once the enemy gets fleshed to stone up, you're not going to do any damage in that combat, but I definitely have a chance here of really doing some damage. But it's going to hurt because White Lions are nasty. Needless to say, the chariot wipes out the Dragon Prince's impact hits. Yeah, here's where he ends up. Here's before the combat. In case you're wondering why I haven't charged and killed his general yet, it's because I think during his general's transit through that forest, through some circumstance, I found out that he was ethereal. So. Yeah, I'm not. That's why I haven't just really gone after killing him yet. And then here I got. Okay, so here's at the beginning of the combat phase against the Spear Elves. And then here's the end of it. He had 22 left. I didn't even have to use all my attacks. The Gore Block just completely destroyed that unit and reforms. They restrain. Or no, I don't have to restrain and overrun. So they just turn here to face the flank of the White Lions. Okay, so over here, as you can see, he's really chopped down my back rank a lot. He's killed a pretty good number of Bestigors. But now it's my turn to hit back. And then, yeah, that's my Primal Fury roll. So all the Beastmen players, they're probably cheering right now. Yep, and that's what I do to the unit. He's got 4 guys left. Bestigors just go nuts and yeah, murderize them. So yeah, even toughness 7 wasn't going to do them much good. But they're stubborn, so they took a whooping and they stuck around. And then over here, I forgot to mention it. The combat phase, the last turn. My Bray Shaman, the Eagle does a wound to the Shaman, and the Shaman ends up also rolling double 1s for his Primal Fury. So he does a wound back to the Eagle, and that combat's a push. And yeah, I'm just loving it because, my little level 1 wizard is just fighting for his life against this Eagle, and he might win. So I was pretty excited going into this combat. The Eagle fluffed his attacks, but it turns out my wizard did too, and so the Stomp was what ended up killing him. So there you go. He reforms the Eagle to face the Centaurs. Okay, so at the beginning of his next turn, he's got he charges his Eagle and the Dragon Princes into the Centaurs, and yeah, for his charge roll, yeah, that's what he rolled, and that's not a 6. That's definitely the Eagle. There is a 1. So yeah, Dragon Princes once again doing nothing. And kind of a very cinematic last stand glory charge. He goes ahead and charges the archers down the hill to kind of save their White Lion brethren from the rampaging Bestigor unit. Yep, the Eagle gets in, obviously, but the Dragon Princes didn't, so that Eagle's in a very bad position. And yep, here's at the end of the combat phase. Yep, Eagle obviously didn't make it. Okay, so I don't know why that picture was out of order, but alright, so here you got his magic phase. He goes ahead and regrows some of his white lions. So he's looking at, he's got 10 now as opposed to 4. So yeah, I told him to do that instead of flesh to stoning him again, because regardless, the Beastmen were easily going to wipe out that unit, even if they were toughness 7, so I figured he might as well just do as much damage as he could. So yeah, regrows some of them. Here's a picture at the end of the close combat. As you can see, I just lost a truckload of Beastmen, but yeah, they wiped out all 10 of the white lions and really killed a bunch of those archers too. So yeah, so I think with all the banners I've captured and all the wounds I've done, yeah, Archer's easily needing insane courage to stick around, and yeah, his BSB died a long time ago, so they don't even get a reroll, so they obviously fell and get run down. And here's just kind of an overview. I think my opponent decided to call it at this point, just because all he's got left is, you know, you can see here he's got his general, and then over here he's got his dragon princess, so yeah, a resounding victory to the Beastmen. Yeah, like I said, this is my first try at doing the slideshow thing, and so yeah, just let me know if there's anything you guys think I can improve on or whatever. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. So, thanks.